according to Nalanda tradition. So the Nalanda tradition is combine philosophical views and logics. So Chandrakashila himself, great logician. All his writings, he always used reasons like that. So in any way, therefore, I mean, see, while our ancient gurus' own land, a lot of ups and downs happen. During these centuries, we, your Chela, kept all this knowledge intact. So therefore, sometimes we really feel proud. The real living tradition of Nalanda Saraswati thought, or Nalanda sort of academic Saraswati tradition, we kept till now. So these are not only ancient sort of culture or ancient sort of knowledge, but also very relevant to today's world. So thinking these things, or India, really, Bharat, really great sort of nation. Now, past greatness, when we read history, oh, really admire. But what we should do, particularly is you, our Guru, Guruji, young Guru from the West. Actually, in this country, British introduced this modern education. Wonderful. Without that, we cannot develop. It's very important. But at the same time, you Indian should not neglect about your own 1,000-year-old traditional treasures or this richness. That I think very, very important. So in other words, modern education really, you see, looks oriented about material value. We are human beings. Not only just physical, but also emotions there. So material value provides only physical comfort, not necessarily mental comfort. Sometimes I feel those educated people's mental state and not so educated people's mental state, sometimes I doubt. More educated, more sophisticated mind, perhaps more visions, more expectation, more ambitions. As a result, more jealousy, more distrust, more anxiety. So the result, the very educated person, but in a world, too much sort of anxiety. And that eventually leads depression, loneliness. So, number of my friend in the West, very good education, economic condition, money matter also, very good, but as a person, unhappy person. It is fact. So therefore now in the West, among some sort of medical scientists and some great sort of scientists as well as thinkers, philosophers, see many of them now get some kind of sort of now experience the material value. There is a limitation. Material development alone will not develop healthy individual, healthy family, healthy community. So therefore, because the very existing education system is very much oriented about material value, this is not sufficient. We have, as I mentioned earlier, we have this emotion. So now ancient Indians also the knowledge. It's really dealing with our emotion. So once, in order to deal with emotion, I usually used to call hygiene of physical, hygiene of emotion. So in order to deal with emotion, we should have some knowledge about world of emotion, world of mind, world of consciousness, with a fuller picture of the world of emotion, then much easier deal with this destructive emotion. So that is your ancient sort of treasure, available, all this information. That I think very, very important. So my main sort of reason, combination, your ancient thought, ancient treasure, and modern treasure, modern thing combined. Then you get sort of physical sort of comfort as well as mental comfort. So now India, after independence, generally this country, most populated democratic country with rule of law and freedom of speech, freedom of press, I think overall this country much stable compared to neighboring states and some other states. However, time passes. I often is telling the spirit during freedom fight, like Mahatma Gandhi ji, Sardar Patel, all these great sort of freedom fighters, they really stand principle with principle and carrying that sort of principle fearlessly, selflessly. Now, after India got independence now, nearly 70 years, that spirit, I think, still need. Otherwise, now, frankly speaking, corruptions, quite serious. So this, I think, we are gradually losing our basic values, basic principle, truth, honest, even a selfish viewpoint. If you carry your work truthfully, honestly, then your action automatically becomes transparent. That brings trust from public. So for your own sort of interest, honest, truthful, is very, very essential. Doing something hypocritically or cunningly, ultimately you will lose. Yeah. So therefore, I think India, there are some sort of, symptoms or some sort of indication of some or result of some negligence. That I think you younger generation now must pay more attention. Few years ago, I was in Jodhpur talking to some students. One student, then usually whenever I give some talk, I always take questions. So one young student, young boy, asked me one question. At the moment he studied. After he finished study, when he really, real life start, unless involve corruption, I cannot lead my life. Can I succeed without corruption? That kind of question. I little bit shocked. After a few days, I was in Bombay, meeting some sort of my friend, some businessman. One businessman also is mentioned, without corruption, your business will not be successful. That's very sad. The corruption almost has become something habitual. Some take for granted these things. I think that's a mistake. We have to recognize these things are can change, can overcome these things. Mainly, I usually call my generation, including those professors, chancellors. Our generation is generation of 20th century. So our century already gone. You, these young students, see, you truly belongs to the 21st century. 21st century, only the 30 years passed, so 12 years passed. The remaining of the century yet to come. So you have special responsibility and special opportunity, you see, to try to make this 21st century be century of peace, century of love, century of compassion. Then many man-made problems will reduce. Major disaster we cannot do. If we develop more sort of sense of concern of others' well-being, then there is no room to cheat other people, to bully other people, isn't it? To exploit other people. Then all these, the wrong, the habit rates, all these gradually is reduced. So in order to develop moral principle, if we rely on religious teaching, effect limited. On this planet, religious faith over 3,000, 4,000 years, religious faith, come. Really, it brought immense benefit to millions of people, even today, and future also. But still, 7 billion human beings, quite big portion out of 7 billion, actually non-believer. And among those believers also, not very serious. So among the religious people, some corruptions, some scandals happening. That's the indication. Those believers, not very serious. Religion take as a sort of habit, custom, like that. So therefore, now the only way to build healthy society, healthy humanity, or compassionate humanity must go through education. So education, please, you see, think more seriously, and particularly teachers, you must make clear your students ultimate source of happy life, successful life, and also ultimate source of, you see, the friendship ultimately depend here. Warm-heartedness, not money, not power, not just sophisticated sort of intellectuals. So therefore, please, you see, the concerned people, pay more attention while you are giving them education, as I mentioned earlier, mainly material development, concerning material development. Meantime, you must pay more attention about how to build, you see, healthy person. That means more compassionate person. More compassionate person, automatically sense of responsibility automatically comes. Sense of humility automatically comes. So these are, I think, something important. So now here, young, but a university with long future and very important sort of institution. This institution actually producing one generation who really makes differences of your own area and as well as just a country and global level. So please think more seriously, please. Then,
Staff and students, ladies and gentlemen, the Registrar has asked my permission to end this convocation. This will mark the end. Over time, it will have hundreds more convocations as the seed planted here in the surroundings of Dharamshala grows into a strong institution of learning. The university had good beginnings even before this first convocation, as the Vice Chancellor has reported today. Even before, it has a home of its own. The first fruits of the tree are being celebrated today, those who have been given degrees in this convocation. The Vice Chancellor, the faculty, the staff, and all the students of the university must be congratulated for their dedication to fulfill their mission of learning even before they have their own home. A momentous turn in human history 50 years ago brought to these hills of Dharamshala a gift, a blessing. It was His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. His pursuit of wisdom, as well as his generosity in sharing his wisdom with people all over the world, are gifts to humankind. Those who have received their degrees today in his presence have been specially gifted. And thank you for your wisdom, Your Holiness, not just to the graduates at this convocation, but to all of us. Thank you very much for guiding us. When you mentioned that, you'd forgotten something to say, and another time. I hope you will come yet another time and share your wisdom with us. His Holiness's hallmark, his distinction from other wise persons, is his infinite curiosity and his humility as he searches for knowledge. He is a complete university in spirit. What a blessing for us that he graced our first convocation. Indeed, this has been a blessed beginning for the Central University of Himachal Pradesh. Your Holiness, you have been bestowed many honors by many of the world's most celebrated universities, and the Nobel Prize too. We are honored by your gracious acceptance of our honorary degree. Since it is the first our university has granted, it starts us on a very high standard. A university is not bricks and mortar. It must never be constrained into its campus and restricted by its walls. A university can function wherever and whenever there is a vibrant spirit of inquiry that brings searchers of knowledge from many disciplines together. In fact, that we are having this convocation here today in this tent, set up in the open in the hills around Dharamshala, is an example of how a university must function, I would say, but can function certainly without being constrained by bricks and mortar. And I was delighted to hear the Vice Chancellor say that the next convocation of this university will be on its own land granted to it, outside Dharamshala. I am very sure, Vice Chancellor, you will have to have that convocation in a similar but perhaps larger tent up in the hills of Dharamshala. we look forward to it. A university is, in the words of Guru Dev Rabindranath Tagore, a place where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. A place where knowledge is not broken into fragments by narrow ideological walls. A place where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way in the dreary desert sand of dead habit. Let us unite in ensuring that from these auspicious beginnings, these springs of clear water, blessed by His Holiness, a clear stream of reason will flow into a great university. With these words, I permit to close the convocation.
With the permission of Honorable Chancellor, I declare the convocation closed.
National Anthem. Please remain standing and in silence as the convocation procession proceeds. I request the guests to please be seated. Just another 2 minutes only. I thank all of you for your conduct and cooperation in making this occasion a very grand success and memorable for all our degree holders. A formal congratulations to all the degree recipients. God bless all of you. Now I request the degree recipients to slowly move out of the hall and assemble themselves.
दादाजी किधर है? ठीक है कितना सोहना लगन दे पिछों पहाड़ आंदे वे है ना
and the guests especially. Thanks a lot for your valuable time. Now I request all the guests to go over to the VIP enclosure area where they will have their high tea and sit inside the hall for your refreshments. I request all the parents to go behind. I really thank all my current students for their patience and excellent cooperation. Really big applause for all of you. Thank you so much. Please wait after the guests leave and the parents leave. Kindly leave for your refreshments. And you're welcome back. further. Let's all proceed from 4:50 onwards. Thank you.
Wait.
Jaldi please. 2, 3. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you. Last one.
सर थोड़ा पीछे
थोड़ा पीछे प्लीज थोड़ा पीछे कर लीजिए।
However, this moment, when China and India somewhere to create some problems. So eventually, I think it should be. Actually, according to some information, actually one university in Peking, I think 3 years ago, they carried survey how many Buddhists in China. It mentioned about 300 million Buddhists in China. Yes. And then also, you see, I think last year, according to some so many of them used to follow Tibetan Buddhism. So therefore, Tibetan can be very good. Okay. That's no question. So now it's many Chinese. Now Chinese people follow Tibetan Buddhism. Many Chinese. So in future. Good. Oh, goodbye. Goodbye. Please don't picture please.
One click.
Please.
Please, like this. Okay. Please. पायलट क्या है पायलट क्या रहा है ना पायलट
Mr. Ashish, make it sure that nobody is standing in the passage, please. To our Chancellor, formal welcome. Thank you so much, sir.
Our Deans, Professor Arvind Agarwal, Dean School of Social Sciences, Professor H.R. Sharma, Dean Student Welfare and Head of the Department of Economics. I request our Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Yogendra Verma, to present a bouquet to our Vice Chancellor, Professor Varkan Kamar. A formal welcome to you, sir. Heartfelt welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Just welcome. Let me welcome all the dignitaries on the dais. Professor Arvind Agarwal, Dean, School of Social Sciences. Professor H.R. Sharma, Dean, Student Welfare, Head, Department of Economics. Professor Malhan, Dean, School of Mathematics, Computer Science, Computers and Information Sciences. Professor Mahajan, Dean, School of Earth and Environmental Sciences. Professor K.B. Joshi, Dean, School of Physical and Material Sciences. Dr. Arvind Jha, Dean, School of Education. Dr. Manukonda Rabindranath, Dean, School of Journalism and New Media. Dr. Roshan Lal, Proctor, as well as School of Languages, Dean, School of Languages. And the heads, Dr. Sanjeev Gupta, departments. I request all the degree recipients to stand for taking their oath.
द्वारा यह शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं विश्वविद्यालय की शिक्षा के अनुरूप अपने आचरण का सत्यनिष्ठा, वृत्तिकता और उच्चतम नैतिकता एवं सदाचार से पालन करूंगा और भारत की अनेकता में एकता की भावना का आदर करते हुए समाज में सद्भावनापूर्वक जीवन व्यतीत करूंगा और भारत के संविधान का पालन करूंगा। मैं सत्यनिष्ठापूर्वक यह भी प्रतिज्ञा लेता हूं कि मैं समाज और पर्यावरण के उत्थान के लिए विश्वविद्यालय के विजन दस्तावेज में वर्णित मूल्यों एवं सिद्धांतों को आगे बढ़ाऊंगा।
The Vice Chancellor and Pro Vice Chancellor to flank him. Sir, the candidates have been presented to you during the convocation function and now they will receive the degrees from you. May I now call upon the students of MA Economics to receive their degrees from the revered Chancellor. I request the Dean, Student Welfare and Head of Department of Economics, Professor H.R. Sharma, and Dean, Social Sciences, Professor Arvind Agarwal, to also be present. May I call out the names? We have Ajay Kumar, son of Shri Prem Singh. Menu Devi, daughter of Shri Parasram. Menu Devi, daughter of Shri Parasram. Parveen Kumari, daughter of Shri Kishori Lal. Rakesh Anand Pandey, son of Shri S. Anand Pandey. Sanjeev Kumar, son of Shri Dinanath. Vishal Dagar, son of Shri Dharampal. Thank you, Professor H.R. Sharma, and thank you, Professor Arvind Agarwal. Now we call upon the students of MBA General, and I request Professor Yogendra Verma, Dean, School of Business and Management Studies to be he's already present there. We have Abhimanyu Mahajan, son of Shri Virendra Mahajan. Amandeep Kohli, son of Shri Devendra Kumar Kohli. Amandeep Singh, son of Shri Malikyat Raj. Achal Nadda, son of Shri Chandrasekhar Nadda. Daughter of, I'm sorry. Anchal Nadda, daughter of Shri Chandrasekhar Nadda. Anil Kumar, son of Shri Sunil Dutt. Ankita Karki, daughter of Shri Chandan Singh. Geetam Sharma, daughter of Shri I.P. Sharma. Chiranjit Banerjee. Chiranjit is not there? Degrees itself. Harsha Avasthi. Harsha Avasthi, son of Shri Vinod Kumar Avasthi. Jagjit Singh, son of Shri Vijay Kumar. Neha, daughter of Shri Birbal Das. Prabhat Kumar, son of Shri Dashai Prasad. Prince Kumar Gupta, son of Shri Deena Dayal Gupta. Priya Mahajan, daughter of Shri Pradeep Kumar Mahajan. Puneet Sharma, son of Shri Rakesh Sharma. Rakesh Nehariya, son of Shri Haricharan Nehariya. Rohit, son of Shri Ramlal.
आप सबों से गुजारिश है ताली की आवाज थोड़ी और तेज कर दें आप प्लीज.
Rohit Sahil Thakur, not present. Sangeeta Patania, daughter of Shri Rangil Singh Patania. Sylvie Sood, daughter of Shri Pawan Kumar. Srinu Telu, son of Shri Dongabbai alias Gollababu. Tapasya Sharma, daughter of Sri Suresh Kumar. Vandana Kumari, daughter of Shri Narayan Singh. Afsana Parveen, daughter of Shri Momin Khan. Ankita Banta, daughter of Shri Kulbhushan Banta. Deepak Kumar, son of Shri Nathuram. Gaurav Kapoor, son of Shri Pradeep Kapoor. Jatin Sharma, son of Shri Surendra Sharma. We are not able to hear your claps. Juhi Raghuvanshi, daughter of Shri Virendra Singh. Kalpana Kapoor, daughter of Shri Parshottam Kapoor. Mohammad Wazir, son of Shri Muhammad Yusuf. No voices, only enthusiastic clapping, please. Naman Rastogi, son of Shri Rajendra Rastogi. Naveen Dhiman, son of Shri Joginder Singh. Please clap louder. Nisha Kumari Jamwal, daughter of Shri Vinod Jamwal. Sahil Gupta, son of Shri Vinay Gupta. Samir Sipi, son of Shri Hemraj. Sanal Gupta, son of Shri Dinesh Kumar Gupta. Saurabh Vasudeva, son of Shri Bhagatram. Suneet Kumar, son of Shri Chunilal. Sunil Jaura, son of Shri Ashok Kumar Jaura. Please increase the clapping. Vishal Gautam, son of Shri Ravikant Gautam. Vivek Chaudhary.
Vishal.
Abdul Qadir Ansari, son of Shri Abdul Majid.